Goodness gracious me. Welcome back to the first annual Pinky Awards. I'm your host, Butterwreck. You can call me Danny. Tonight's show is all about video games. That's right, it's the Pinky Game Awards. Thank you for tuning back in for our Wednesday night show. Pinkies are going out across 15 categories. Every nominee is a winner. I believe these hard-working creators and their works of love and art deserve proper shout-outs. Make sure to stay tuned through the rest of the week for more of our first ever annual Pinky Awards week. Pinky is up for tonight's awards. Let's get to our first set of winners. This first category is more about the past. Game Discovery of the Year. Our first Pinky Award goes to Fear and Hunger. This is a great horror RPG. It's brutal, it's gross, it's grotesque, it's disgusting, and it's really psychologically challenging, and it's just overall very difficult. And I loved discovering this game, and I'm still playing it over and over. Next, we have Hylics 2. Of course, I played Hylics 1, had to dig into the sequel, and it is a phenomenal RPG. It's stylistically amazing, and the music is amazing. I just love the artwork. I love the clay craftiness behind it. It's just a true labor of love. Next, we have The Last Door. This is a great story game, a little point and click, a mystery detective work game. It's a phenomenal story just to follow along. I didn't expect to be so enraptured in such a story, and I just love the way it unfolded in front of my eyes. I loved being a part of this story. The next Pinky goes to Post Void. This is a great sort of retro Doom style game, except it is just, it's sort of a roguelike in a way, but you restart over and over and you try to get as far as you can. It's just a very fun game all around, and I've had so much fun trying to beat my PB over and over. And finally, we have Pseudo Regalia. This is a retro-style Metroidvania. It's so classic in its style, in its animation, and its art, while feeling so fresh, and it's just a really fun game to behold. Our next category is Demo/Early Access of the Year. The first Pinky of this category goes to Aero GPX. It's a nice F-Zero style racer with an amazing art style and just all around atmosphere. It's a true labor of love. Next, we have The Big Catch Tackle Box. This is a prologue to an upcoming game, The Big Catch. It's sort of a collect-a-thon platformer, but just this prologue, it feels like it could be considered its own game. It is just full of so much to explore, and I can't wait for the full game. Next, we have Fields of Mystria. This is it's a Stardew Valley-esque game, but there's a lot more RPG elements, and it's just a great game so far, and I'm excited to see how this game progresses. Next, we have Liar's Bar. This is a nice online game about lying, and it's just a nice sort of back room type gambling game. It's just fun. Voidborn. This is one I've been following for a while. It's just a really nice action shooter game with fantasy elements, and just the art direction is beautiful. Speaking of, Our next category is Art Direction of the Year. Our first pinky goes to Buckshot Roulette. I love the retro style while also delving into some horror elements, and it's just simple but effective in its art. Next we have Cryptmaster. I love the sketch black and white style, while also, again, delving into some horror styling and atmosphere, and I just love the way this game looks. Next we have the RPG Velvedek. I am obsessed with the way this game looks. It has cutscenes that feel like straight out of the PlayStation 1 or the PS2. It's just a great and beautiful game. Next we have Mario and Luigi Brothership. I just love the way that Nintendo translated the Mario and Luigi style to these 3D graphics. I just think it almost looks sort of anime-esque to me. Am I the only one? Next we have Ultros. This is a great Metroidvania, and there's just the way the colors are so bizarre and trippy. I love it. Next category is Free Game of the Year. First we have, of course, Marvel Rivals. It's the hit of the winter. It's a great game so far, and it allows so much fun for no cost. Well, at the base game value, of course. Next is Nightmare Kart. It's a Bloodborne inspired kart racing game with a story mode. It actually functions in a very different way to racing games. There's like action elements and story and boss battles. It's great. Next we have Psychopomp. This is a really fun game. It's a sort of horror game, and just the exploration. I think there's so much to explore in this game and so much to try out in this game for just a free game. Next we have Rental. It's a cute little horror game, if you can call it that. It's too cute to be scary, but it also is kind of scary. It's just a nice short free experience. Next we have Strafdat, which is a sort of ugly online shooter game. But I just love the style. I played Babdi by these developers. And I just am in awe that they managed to pull off a great PvP shooter game in the same grotesque style. Next category is Party Game of the Year. Our first winner is Battle Cap. I love this sort of aquatic and water park themed chaos and fun. Next we have the Jackbox Survey Scramble. It's insane to me that Jackbox came out with such a simple game while also being such a fun party game nonetheless. Next we have the King of Fighters XV. I don't know what that is in Roman numerals, and I didn't look it up, but it's just a great fighting game, of course, classic franchise, just a mainstay series in fighting games. Next, we have another fighting game, Rivals of Aether 2. I adored the original, and I am so excited to continue playing the new 3D style version of that, and I just think they really nailed it. Next, we have Super Mario Party Jamboree. I think it's I would say it's the best of the Mario parties on the Switch. It just feels the most complete and the most worth the big price tag. Next, we have Online Game of the Year. Our first pinky goes to Content Warning. This is a really nice online co-op horror game, and I just love the simple but cute style while also being actually scary in its story and its plot of just trying to get as many views as possible. Next, we have Friends vs. Friends, which is kind of a cheat. It's technically a 2023 game, but they're still updating it. It's just a great PvP card deck building game. I think it's very underrated, and I just needed to give it a shout out. Next, we have Marvel Rivals again. It's just another great online game. I think they really nailed the sort of online team battles mixed with Marvel characters. I think it's just a great thing that they were able to accomplish and explore in such a great way. Next, we have Strapped Out again. Just what can I say that I didn't say before? Just a fun PvP game. There's so much to it. It feels like a different experience every single round. It's awesome. And then finally for this category we have, of course, Web Fishing, which took the internet by storm. It's a little Animal Crossing-esque game in which you fish online with online communities. I've found some pretty great communities while just fishing for some fish in this game. Next, we have Game Soundtrack of the Year. First, we have Aero GPX. This soundtrack is done by Myron. It's just awesome rock, metal tracks, and it just feels perfect for a game such as this. Next, we have Angerfoot by Jay Booty. It's a pretty simple soundtrack, but I think it's very effective in the way it's pulled off, and the sound just changes throughout the track while also being very consistent. Next, we have Arco. This soundtrack is done by Jose Ramon Bibiki Garcia. This is just a very fun Western style soundtrack. It's very Latin inspired, and I just love the way it sounds and feels. I'm pretty sure there's 3 volumes of it you can listen to. Next, we have the Buckshot Roulette soundtrack by Mike Klubnika. It's just a nice dance EDM music. I think it's just worthy of dancing to in a club. It's just really fun music to me, honestly. It's simple yet effective. And then lastly, for this category, we have Velvedek. This soundtrack was done by Czech band, psych band, Marcel Godot's Holy Crab, a band I love. And this game is just, it would be incomplete without this amazing soundtrack with rocky elements and just like weird sounds. It's amazing. Next category is Fantasy Game of the Year. First, we have Cryptmaster again. This is just a great dungeon crawler mixed with words, and just I think the execution and the concept, they knocked it out of the park. Next, we have Dungeons of Blood and Dream. Again, it's another retro style game, but I just love, I adore retro style games, just indie games altogether. But this game, it's so beautiful to look at, and it feels so natural to play. It's amazing. And then next we have Velvedek again. It's sort of historical fiction fantasy. There's cult stuff mixed with fantasy monsters and stuff, but it's a very lovely RPG. Next we have Forgive Me Father 2, some fantasy Lovecraftian horror shooter stuff. I just love the way the monsters look in this game, and just the art style is just amazing. And then next we have Voidborn again. I love the fantasy style of this game, and I love just how immersed I feel when I play this game. Next we have Adventure Game of the Year. The first pinky goes to the prologue, the Big Catch Tackle Box. I'm counting it because it is an amazing adventure game so far. Just please play it. It's free, I believe. Next we have Neva, which is Metroidvania, I believe. But it's also a great adventure game, and the style, look at it, just, it's so beautiful and pretty. Next we have Sam & Max, The Devil's Playhouse, a new installment in the Sam & Max series. It's just another sort of classic style, cartoony fun with just these great characters. I love this game. Next we have Thank Goodness You're Here. Just, it's a cute cartoony game about work. We love work. And then next we have Ultros again. Such a beautiful Metroidvania, and I can't get enough of this style. Next category is Horror Game of the Year. First we have Flathead. This is a short horror game with this little freak of a dude. He creeps me out. Next we have Kletka. It's sort of a Backrooms inspired game, while also feeling not something overdone. It's just a nice horror game. Next we have Mouthwashing. Of course, everyone's been talking about it. I just love the story, while also the horror elements. This game is freaky and devastating. Next we have Psychopomp again. Explore the depths of the sewers and wherever. It's creepy, even though everything has anime eyes. And then next is Threshold, another great horror game. It reminds me of the Bob D. Straftat style. I'm pretty sure those developers helped on this in some way or something, or there's inspiration, and I just love the overall look of this horror game. The next category is RPG of the Year. First we have Arco. I just love the tactile RPG sort of genre mixed with this sort of Western Central American style. It's awesome, and I need more. Next is Velvedek again. What could I say that I haven't said already? This is an amazing game. Next we have Fields of Mystria. Again, I'm excited to see where this game goes in its development. And yeah. Next we have Mario and Luigi Brothership. Again, a classic in RPG history. Just the series, and I'm glad it's back after we all thought it was over. But I just love this new installment. And the next we have Sandland, of course, with art by the Dragon Quest people and Dragon Ball people. It's just look at it. It looks so cute. And the next we have Metroidvania of the Year. This is just a category for me because I love Metroidvania so much. First we have Animal Well. I think a Metroidvania where you actually collect and sort of immerse yourself in the world of nature and animals. Such an amazing concept. Next we have Gestalt Steam and Cinder, which is sort of the opposite of Animal Well. It's sort of the factory Metroidvania, and it's sick as hell. Next we have Nine Souls. This is it's very much a Hollow Knight-esque Metroidvania, while also being fresh and beautiful and bright. Next we have Noria, the Gold Project. I love this protagonist, and I love this world and this style. I feel so immersed in this game. And then lastly, Ultros again. And then the next category is Developer of the Year. Just want to shout out some developers who've been working hard this past year. We've got some stuff coming soon. First, we have Acorn Bringer with their upcoming game of Love and Eternity. I've been watching the development of this game. Please check them out on Twitter. Follow along with me. It looks like it's shaping up to be something sick. Next we have Atu Games. They developed Feudal Alloy, which is a Metroidvania, but they're currently working on Scarlet Deer Inn, which I've been following, in which the sprites are all embroidered in real life, and it's just a labor of love and art. Next we have Gamezel. They developed these short horror type games. They did Missing Hiker, Mimic Search, and they're currently working on Nox Mortalis, which is very much a fantasy horror game, and I am super stoked to see how this one turns out. Next we have Mace Lindroth, of course, creator of Hylix, Hylix 2, and the upcoming Hylix 3 whenever that may come. Just love to see how the clay takes shape. Next we have Miro, also known as Orange, developer of Fear and Hunger 2 Termina, of course, is working on Fear and Hunger 3, and I'm just very excited for that. Next category is Franchise Game of the Year. First we have The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. Finally, we get to play as Zelda as the main protagonist in a game named after her. Finally, the whole series has been named after her, and we finally get to play as her. But this is just a cute and awesome game. Sam & Max, The Devil's Playhouse, again, just love this sort of cartoon adventure. It's very much giving sort of Ratchet and Clank sort of hijinks. Next we have Silent Hill 2, the remake of Silent Hill 2, but I just think this remake looks stunning, and it is spooky as hell and expensive, but that's besides the point. Next we have Sonic X Shadow Generations. This is a remake of Sonic Generations, now with the Shadow campaign, and it is absolutely awesome. And then lastly we have the remake of Star Wars Bounty Hunter. Just a great game altogether. I love this game. I'm a huge Star Wars nerd and just love playing as Jango Fett in this game once again in the year of our Lord 2024, now 2025, but that's besides the point. And then lastly, Game of the Year. These are my 5 favorite games that came out this year in 2024, even though technically I'm recording this in 2025. Number 1, Animal Well. Again, beautiful Metroidvania. Just look at the style. It's in this cover. It reminds me of Watership Down, the movie, and it's so beautiful. Next we have Velvedek, of course. You probably could have seen this coming. Love this game to death, and I'm pretty sure more to this game is coming. Next we have Mouthwashing. Everyone's been talking about this game, but it's truly a beautiful game. It's heart-wrenching, it's psychological, and yeah. And the next is Voidborn. Again, super excited to see where this game goes and see it in its final form, but I've been playing it like crazy and it's super fun. And then lastly, web fishing. I've just spent so many hours trying to catch all the fish and all the tiers of each fish. I made so many friends. It's just a great game. Thank you all for watching. the first annual Pinky Awards this week. This is all based in my personal taste and showing off things that really interest me, and just the games I've been fixated on for the past year, and just so viewers can get to know me a bit better. But most importantly, I just want to shout out creators and artists alike. All of the works featured and important associated links you can find in the description below in a document I've shared. Please check them out and support these amazing people and creators and developers, etc. I don't take credit for anything in this video. I'm just here to give credit to those who make things I could only dream of making. Thank you.